Hello, fellow humans. This is Lots of Hope. Welcome to this episode of The Living Journey, where we escape and explore life in an alternate universe. Before we start, please make sure you are in a safe space. Can and will do nothing but to relax while you are listening. Thank you for your support. Now, let's decompress. Angel speaks. Just another ordinary day, doing your ordinary chores, finishing your ordinary routine in your ordinary day. Walking amongst thousands of people on the street, you don't feel so very special. But at night, after watching the Superman movie with your friends, it makes you wonder one thing. Does your superpower qualify you as a superhero? Well, not really a superpower, but your ability to speak and cooperate with your guardian angel to help other people in their daily lives. The ability started when you were a kid. An accident on the street when you were riding your bike. A car that lost control hit you and your bike. Not sure about the condition of the bike, but you were thrown out so far away when you landed on your neighbor's lawn. The lady who is transplanting her purple hydrangea screamed so loud that the whole neighborhood actually heard her call for help instead of the loud impact from the accident. You don't remember how everything happened, but you felt fine. The neighbor lady insisted on you not moving until the ambulance arrived. You were confused. Looking at your parents, they were worried sick, crying their eyes out. Your friends, in disbelief and hiding behind their parents. And the neighbor lady who stood around you, making sure you're staying down and preventing you from further injuries. The shyness in you exploded. You felt so embarrassed, thinking that you would be the conversation piece at school. You couldn't help but feeling even more upset, covering your face to avoid even more eye contacts, until maybe a century later, the ambulance finally arrived. In the hospital, you got fully examined. The doctor couldn't find anything wrong with you, but you just see in his eyes with so much sadness and sorrow. He had been through something terrifying, and the result of your perfect, clean bill of health gave him a huge relief. His sad eyes smiled, and you couldn't help but reaching your hands out to hug him gently. I'm told that she's okay. She's in a safe place now. Your parents and the neighbor lady don't know what was going on, but the doctor and his nurse cried their eyes out and had to take a break from the rest of the day. On the way home, you told your parents that your guardian angel asked you to give the hug. Mom, my friend said please, so I have to help. Since that day, your guardian angel had accompanied you through your whole childhood, all of your big events, all of your exams. You had even asked your guardian angel to memorize the math formulas for you. And because your parents don't understand nor believe that your young freshman guardian angel disobeyed the rules and saved you from the car crash, its wings were broken and needed time and effort to recover from the punishment. You two had been through hundreds, if not thousands, of psychiatrist appointments together, not counting some of the medium visits. Since the hug to the doctor, you had grown a strong bond to the act of helping others and giving others comforts. Most of the time, it gives back instant gratification and the good deeds make you feel really good. And because your juvenile and immature guardian angel couldn't help itself but putting its angelic finger in the pie and pushed you to comfort the hospital staff, it realized that the kind and spiritual action helped to grow its wings back a teeny tiny bit. The achievement that you both felt was significant enough. The cooperation was established. You help out your angel doing the heavenly work that made you the most famous weirdo of your school. With no experience of talking to your invisible friends. And at the time, there is no wireless headphone that you can pretend to be chatting to your friend who is living thousands of miles away. Everyone sees you getting tickled by the air, talking, laughing, and squabbling to the air, learning the language of heaven, speaking gibberish by yourself. If surrealism and cubism are the oddest art styles in the world, then your behavior is surrealism times cubism multiplied by expressionism. A weirdo like you should have been bullied and friendless for your whole life, but your ordinary life is filled with happiness and confidence attracted by your countless kind act and brave endeavors. Oh, yes, you remember the day in the church when you helped out an old lady to pick up her purse as her back was too stiff to bend over. Then, sitting on your seat, you passed the Bible to someone who needed it. And the most dramatic of it all, that day's Mass was actually an exorcism. When you and your angel saw the helplessness in the eyes of the priest, as everyone was dripping nervous sweat and chanting the Bible verses while leaning back so far, almost separating their heads from the bodies, the angel and you tacitly shout out loudly, "Stop!" in the heavenly tongues. Within seconds, a tornado-like evil wind pulled the demon out of the body of the poor woman, slamming through the thick church doors, leaving a cartoonish escape hole on the metal doors. Everyone was stunned. Being so proud of your teamwork, you and your angel looked at each other and said, "Great job," in heavenly tongues, not noticing all the people around you, shocked, amazed, and scared. Not sure of what was going on under the cover of dark night, with the waving hands of your neighbor lady, your parents moved far, far away from your father's childhood home. The angel learned that the act in the church was too radical, and your parents had to protect you from all the backlashes, news, gossips, or conspiracy theorists. No more exorcism. Your teenage self and your immature angel spoke in unison. One day at a time, one helping strangers with directions, after another giving homeless animal food. You grew up, and the angel grew slightly more mature, and its wings recovered substantially. So, when your wings are recovered, do I ever see you again? You hesitated for days and finally asked. The angel shakes its head, resignedly replied to you. Not until you are very, very, very old. Feeling so very sad. Cannot contain the sadness that very, very soon you will lose your best friend for the rest of your life. And a small part of you feels so guilty that you thought about that you lose the ability to impress people with your special gift. The very next day afternoon, You were having lunch at your work cafeteria. The angel babbled around you, talking to you with fantastic heavenly food, music, and the other angels that you used to know. I know I remember all of their names. You had told me thousands of times. I can repeat it word by word. Giving up chewing your tasteless food, you dropped the hammer on your best friend. Wow, that was mean, the angel says, feeling disappointed that you don't appreciate its story back home. The angel flaps its almost recovered wings and flew away, disappearing into the air. With your empty stomach and the heartaches from the guilt of selfishness, you dragged yourself back into the hospital floor. After years of practice, you are drowning in student loan debt, but you have successfully became a doctor. It was after the hug in the examining room that the joy of helping others satisfied you, and the angel explaining to you what happened to the doctor. The doctor wasn't able to save a patient who was about the same age as you were. But Angel's friend had taken her and had separated her from the pain. Thinking that the angel had saved you, you thought it would be a great idea to help others, preventing more of the pain, like how the doctor felt. With the help of your guardian angel, of course. You were so young, you didn't realize that one day, Angel will recover its wings and fly back to the paradise. Seeing the patients for the first time without the help of your best friend is extremely odd. Like the first time meeting a patient, your voice trembles. Your nurse, who is taking down notes, asked if you were okay. Totally fine. You regrouped and recollected yourself, giving your best to diagnose the patient. It was a tough case. A young patient suffered pains that nobody should ever imagine, but smiled like the most vibrant daisy. You asked the nurse to help with the admission, and you kept close eyes on the patient. It was a peculiar afternoon, doing something that you were quite familiar with, yet completely alone. But the afternoon gave you some confidence to practice your profession all by yourself, and it confirmed that you are actually a good doctor. In the evening, you got to the gym, wondering if the angel is waiting there for you. You toured around the gym. Everybody in the gym knows you, greeting you, waving to you, and saying hi to you. When you finish your search, Angel was nowhere to be found. The disappointment drowned you, wishing to apologize and explain how scared you were of losing your best friend, and how guilty you felt that you even thought about losing the benefit of talking to an angel, and the grave of eventually forgetting Angel's face and voice made you lose your nerve. But the workout must continue. Consistency is the key. You could hear yourself speaking in the divine tongue. It's what Angel would say when you are feeling uninspired. When you needed a spot, you unconsciously looked left and right, hoping to find your angel. But there were only humans in your sight. You reached out to a friend asking for help, then finished your workout and rushed back home. For the next couple of days, you realized that your best friend might have recovered its wings and gone back home. Feeling lost, you just did your best to gather all your attentions and focus on work. Taking care of your patients with your usual smiles and kindness, hugging the ones that needed warmth, dancing and singing with the lively and active ones, even after your nurse told you that your dance was robotic. Your work was tough. You can totally understand why Angel traded its wings to save you. Every day, you mechanically do the good gestures everywhere you go, like the program had been built into your bones, helping others, holding the elevator door open, giving smile to whoever needs the boost, sparing changes to whoever needs it, talking to whoever is feeling helpless. When life was about to return to normal, minus your best friend, of course, something unspeakable happened. You got a message from your hospital when you were hosting dinner with your friends. You threw your napkins on the table, rushed out of the door, and your loud curse echoes in the apartment. The daisy smile passed away unexpectedly. You walked like a zombie for days, couldn't smile or eat much, causing everyone to worry. Losing your best friend after the selfish thought and the meaningless fight, guilt sent you to hell. Then losing your own first patient made you doubt yourself as a doctor, wishing to have a hug from your best friend that might have left for its home, almost threw you into the endless pit of apathy. But the world might be kinder than you thought. Your nurse gave you a hug. Your friend checking on you tirelessly even waited by your door to make sure you get home okay. The gym manager even called you to confirm that his favorite customer is still breathing and pumping. Can you dance for me? One of your patients that you always hugged made a request when you were signing the discharge form. You agreed, reluctantly resumed your dance, feeling awkward at first since it was your first dance in almost a week. But the active kids who you always danced to joined in, and you felt like you were back in your own warehouse, dancing like a silly robot. The healthy kid hugged you and said goodbye to you. The following Christmas was fun. You gathered back at your cousin's, and during a happy and loud conversation, your father made an announcement that your parents had repurchased your and your father's childhood home and they will move back to the house, be closer to your uncle and cousin and the rest of the family. With so much cheering and laughter, you thought about your best friend. Missing Angel so much, you hallucinated, seeing Angel hiding behind the windows, eating chocolate that you packed for your mother's gift. When you rushed over, opening the window, there was nothing outside of the house, only snow, falling down like feathers from those heavenly wings. It was your cousin's taller kid who stole the pack of chocolate, as her finger and pudgy cheeks were covered with the sugary chocolate. When you woke up the next day afternoon, snow had covered the streets. Unexpectedly, your neighbor lady from your childhood home walked blocks of snow-covered streets and came to visit you. Oh my God, my shy little exorcist had grown up. She hugged you tightly. Hugging her back, you are now so much taller than her. The neighbor lady couldn't stop gushing over your life stories, told and exaggerated by your mother. I couldn't imagine that you had grown up to be so successful. I'm so happy to have your parents back. It was a nice time. Seeing people from your past made a nice conclusion to your trip back to your roots. Reliving the memories as your neighbor lady told some of the stories that you had already forgotten. You realized that you were still the same person, just grown, more mature, and with Angel's help, you had become kinder, more insightful, and capable. Oh, it's late. I have to go home and heat the leftovers. Her loud voice that called the whole neighborhood over to help you announced her exit. When you walked out with her, you saw your cousin and her toddler had cleared the snow off the walkway and are playing on the thick snow. The neighbor lady waves her signature goodbye and walks onto the now ice covered road. Only 2 or 3 steps out, all of you hears a loud, continuous sound of panicking driver hitting the horn. As your cousin grabs her kid and rushes towards the house, you run as quick as you can towards the neighbor lady as the car is driving uncontrollably and is about to send her to the eternal happiness. You jumped, pushed her out of her way as the car bumper kissed your shoulder lightly. Suddenly you felt a pull. You were hugged tightly into the arms of your best friend and flew far, far away. As you both land, the angel's wings have been broken off its back once again. An angel is groaning on the ground in the thick snow. Your neighbor lady once again triggered her siren, calling out everyone in the neighborhood to help. You were not injured. You got up, looking around. Angel's broken wings had stopped the car from crashing, and as your best friend wailed in the thick snow, all your families and neighbors gathered around you. Everyone looked at the miracle, looked at you, and looked at the imprint of your best friend in the snow. You were astonished as everyone saw you speaking to the imprint in the snow. You said to the angel, "Unbelievable. Did you really frame a toddler for stealing chocolate?" That's all for this episode of The Living Journey. I'm truly grateful for your time. Feel free to leave your reviews. Please like, follow, or subscribe. Do share this show so we can grow together. Until next time, lots of hope. Signing out.